Welcome back, everyone. NicknLex here. Thank you so much for joining me today to this new episode of Music with Nick. Today we got a request by Chris. Thank you so much, Chris, for reaching out and sending me your email with your request. We got the Blue Oyster Cult today, and we're gonna do a section of a concert that we're gonna listen to and react. And there's also some questions about personal playing and stuff that I'll gladly answer. So again, thank you so much for clicking on this. Of course, if you're a fan of Blue Oyster Cult, welcome. If you're new, like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff, leave a comment. But I'm gonna read here what Chris has to share with us, and I already have the video loaded up on the screen, which I'm gonna display in a second. But it says here, "Then Came the Last Days of May" is from Blue Oyster Cult's self-titled debut album in 1972. For over 50 years, it's been a staple of their live performances. It's been on the true story of three college students from Long Island, Blue Oyster Cult's home base, who traveled to Tucson, Arizona for a drug connection, only to become victims of a deal gone horribly wrong. Although the studio version is only 3.5 minutes long, in concert, founding members Buck Dharma thankfully has the freedom to improvise. This version is from 2014 concert in London. Now it says here, Richie Castellano, or Castellano, how you would say it in Spanish, has the first solo. If you look closely, his E string breaks. If you can see it hanging, Buck comes over and holds it up for everyone to see before he goes into his solo. So it says here, Nick, as a musician, has this ever happened to you? Suppose it could be a big deal depending on which string breaks. Yes, I've had it happen. And yes, the E string or sometimes the B string can break depending on if you do like a crazy bend. But I've even when I started playing, my low E string burst. But it depends on a lot of things. It's the thickness of the string. It's how you basically string the string, how you put it on. There's all sorts of tricks. And then it's just also the attack. And I play very lightly now. I used to play with a very thick pick. Now my pick is I don't know, I just had one here. It's a nylon pick, so the attack is just not that strong. Can't find it. Usually have like 50 picks laying around. But yeah, it's a pick that pretty much, like, it's impossible. I mean, you can still break a string, of course, but it hasn't happened to me maybe in a decade. But it has happened to me live, usually playing, heavier music, like Metallica or Iron Maiden or Judas Priest and stuff like that. Or even in a solo, when you're bending and you're doing one of those triple bends a la David Gilmour. It has happened. And what you do, I mean, it depends also on the guitar. If you do it with a guitar that doesn't have really like a locked in bridge, like a Floyd Rose, then nothing really happens. It can get out of tune a little bit, you would notice immediately, and you can kind of like tune it real quick by playing a chord. But if it happens on a Floyd Rose, then it can happen, then the entire bridge moves and then the entire guitar is out of tune. So it really depends on a lot of things. If you play in like where it's very humid, or I mean, for example, in Puerto Vallarta where I used to play, it was always very humid. So that is obviously worse, for the guitar and for the wood. But yeah, so it has happened and I just dealt with it at the moment, and you just improvise over it, and whatever string you're missing, if it's a solo that, it's one of those solos where you have to have all strings because it's the way it's written, you can always kind of transcribe it in your head to the B string, or if the B string breaks, it's not such a big deal. The E string is always, a little bit more necessary, I guess, But well, I mean, Yeah, so that's pretty much don't, I've also once had a teacher, and he was like saying, whenever you miss a note or you mess up or you're playing something, then just play it again. Play it again, because then it's gonna seem like you did it intentionally, and then nobody's gonna notice. It's almost like if you hit a wrong note or something. So it's just like that. It's just stuff that you deal with in a live setting, and you just like, and it's hilarious, and most people, yeah, they notice. And I've seen people play live, and there's, they have some string issues, and it just happens. So so I'll check out how they deal with it. Now I'm curious. But it says here, so the song begins at 6:55. All right, I got that. Again, it also says my best, Chris. Thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate it. So let's pull up the concert here. Let's see. We got YouTube already open. And so this says it's under. I'll leave the video down in the description for you if you guys want to watch the hour and 15-minute long clip. So let's blow it up here. We only want to see the musicians. And here we are. Okay, let's make this a little bigger. There we go. All right, let's close everything else so the computer doesn't. And here we are. So Blue Oyster Cult 45th anniversary live in London. Here we go. Beautiful headless neck guitar. I'm literally waiting for the moment. I'm like, it's gonna be a bend. It's gonna be something that he does, and that's. I just wanted to really quickly talk about the guitars. That Music Man is beautiful. That green brownish, and then the guitar he's playing, the headless. Man, I love that guitar. I know a lot of people don't like them. Holdsworth was a huge fan of those guitars. And one day I'll buy one. I've played them, but also this is a totally different scenario here. When if the string breaks on his guitar, you put the knob of the string basically up here, and then you kind of like put the string down. It's in reverse. The way you string the guitar, it's totally different. So I don't know. You can't really. I don't know if you would deal with that problem in a live setting. I mean, these guys have guitar techs. He just takes out a different guitar, but yeah, it's definitely different. But let's check it out. Beautiful improvisation. I love the sound. great. I've never seen them live. I didn't even know how they looked like. So this is really good.
In the middle of a cold and barren plain, and the other guy turned and spilled 3 boys' blood that they know I'm trapped in the rain.
So that's a Floyd Rose song. That's where it happened. On that bend, I saw it. It was, he's also, you know, when you do pinch harmonics and you do bends at the same time, it just happens, you know. It could have been, you know, maybe he used it a couple of times. Maybe it's brand new. It just happens when you pinch that string and you bend, it can cause, you know, a break. And that's exactly where it happened. But hey, look, he handled it like nothing. He just switched another string, kept playing beautiful solo. I love the volume swells here. I've done that as well. With a slapback echo, it's like it creates that really cool classical effect depending on the scales that you play. But yeah, he handled it like a pro, you know, no big problem. It's just like, let's keep going. Wonderful. And I this is obviously kind of like an easier fix here, but again, let's see that again, that break. But yeah, it's right on that bend, because he pinched he wanted that artificial harmonic with the bend. I went back too much. high E string, you know. I mean, it's awesome because I mean, you know, all the notes repeat themselves, you know. Basically I mean, even if you're loose an E string, you can still play the same stuff, just further down the neck, you know. And he just took the opportunity to say, hey, you see, even though my string burst, I can still freaking improvise wherever I want. And I think he did the right thing. Instead of panicking, he did and played that solo. I mean, he literally took the opportunity to say, hey, look at this, you know, my guitar is incomplete and I can still do whatever I want on the instrument. Perfect opportunity right there in front of everyone. He did the right thing. He kept playing. That's what I would have done. And yeah, you know, and like I said, you know, the E string, you can pretty much play everything on that B string as well. And he did, you see, and he did a lot of good stuff. So, and I love how the guy was like, oh shit, your string just burst. So very, very cool moment. Let's keep going. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Beautiful. Let me put this down here, and that was wonderful. Both guitar players, I love their different styles. The younger guy, he is more, he's younger. He has obviously crazier technique and stuff, and he's more like a flashier guy, and we all do it. I don't know, like, I guess we all improvise differently. But I love, for example, so as soon as that sting burst, I love that he maintained completely calm, and he went on a lower register, some pentatonic licks, blues, and you keep in that box, you stay there and you're safe, but you can always go down and just reassess the situation and see what you can still do, and it's literally no problem. And then the other gentleman, I don't really know their name, so I'm sorry, with the white guitar, also a beautiful solo, obviously a little bit more, calm and very melodic stuff and beautiful. I love that whammy bar is so huge. Sometimes it is kind of hard to get there, and also on that just talking about equipment and stuff and technique, the way he was doing that with his pinky, I do that as well. But the easiest one is the Fender Stratocaster or whatever Fender, not on a Telecaster though, because the volume knob is like somewhere, but on the Fender Strat you can very, very easily do those volume swells. Now sometimes on an Ibanez here, on a Charvel, it is kind of hard because it is like you have to play and do that, that swell, and it's harder, to get that effect. But kudos to him, he did it on a Music Man, and the whole thing, I love that it was more like a jam session, this song. Thank you again, thank you so much for exposing me more to Blue Oyster Cult. Everyone knows Don't Fear the Reaper. That's like, of course, their song. I guess I'm sure there's a lot of other stuff that's super popular, but this was Then Came the Last Days of May. So this was awesome. Thank you, Chris. I really appreciate it. I hope I answered some of your questions about these little accidents that happen. Yeah, I mean, I've seen all kinds of stuff. I've seen people drop their guitar, not on purpose, when, kind of like the guitar strap, kind of like something happens and suddenly, boom, it just happens. There was like this crazy thing that happened that I just watched. Kiko Laureiro, he is the guitar player of Angra, but also in Megadeth, and he plays like a fusion kind of solo against Guthrie Govan, and they're both in there, and so he does a solo, and he does and then Guthrie takes a solo, he takes a solo, and then Guthrie takes a solo, and then literally he does this, he puts his arm like this, and the guitar literally drops to the floor. If you want to see the video, I'll put it in the video description. It's almost kind of, it's shocking and it's sad, because that's a beautiful Ibanez that he's dropping there, like a $5,000 guitar, or maybe $3,000, I don't know, but yeah, it just happens, it's like, and in the comment section people were like, because of Guthrie was playing so good that Kiko Leg's guitar literally dropped dead, so yeah, obviously no, but yeah, it happens all the time. So again, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed, everyone, and thank you. I'll see you all in the next one.